the music, so we're just going to go ahead and roll because there's no such thing on the air as dead air. Well, it is, but we're not going to entertain it. Get ready, get ready, get ready. It's Let's Talk Business with Sherryl Cusseaux, the third hour of our show with my co-host, Jeanette Diva J. Horde Smith.
Hello.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Listen, we have two fabulous guests that will be joining us on our show today. First of all, thank you to our radio listening audience, to those of you who chime in from all over. We appreciate our global audience. Thank you to those of you who are taking your lunch breaks, or you may be picking us up on Facebook. And to Sydney and Rodney, certainly feel free to stream live. We will be streaming live. In Touch News is streaming live. So a huge thank you, as this show with Diva J and my other co-hosts are gearing up for our 4th year on In Touch News Radio. So y'all look at that anniversary. Thank you. Look at that anniversary show and some of the highlights. Next month, February, is when we actually launched the show 4 years ago. But that being said, listen, I've heard and gotten texts. What are you doing for MLK Day? What are you doing? What kind of service are you rendering? Where are you going? So we're just going to cap this off by saying definitely a day of service. The life of Dr. King, what he meant, and his family, his wife, Coretta Scott King, his family, what it meant, what it means to us as a culture, as a people. And let's just take a moment and we'll start with our guest, Diva J, and share with us your thoughts, your feelings about Dr. King and his legacy. Sydney, ladies first. Chivalry is not dead.
My thoughts on his legacy. I'm very honored by his legacy and what he started. And it's funny that you're starting with me because I was thinking I have a new take on it. Did you all see what his daughter put out on MLK Day? The post that she tweeted about her father from Martin Luther King?
I did not. Ricky, if you can find it, let's definitely share it. But please go ahead and elaborate.
So that post was very enlightening, very eye-opening, because it made me look at the day different, to where it says how we view him now versus when he was actually alive and what we associated with his name.
Okay.
And I'm really hoping that you can find the post to pull it up, because I'm very bad at paraphrasing what someone says. But just when I read that, it had me take a minute. It allowed me to take a minute and reflect, to say, truth is that we have turned this into a day of honoring him, and we should have done this earlier. But I'm just, the day and what he represents, I'm always proud of what he started.
Absolutely. And really, we just wanted your input. And so the fact that, and here's the key, the fact that it made you think or rethink and want to re-look at how you view the day and or services and what it means. And that's the key, the opportunity for us to turn around and make good on this incredible legacy and this amazing man. Rodney, what say you?
And I really, really appreciate you asking. The thing that I remember most is I'm a native of Washington, D.C. And I remember and I'm going to age myself, but I remember the March on Washington. I was a small child then, by the way. But the thing that I remember most is that my mother took my brother and I to the March on Washington. I really didn't have perspective then, because I was way too young. The only thing I remember is that there were a lot of people that looked like me out there during that particular time. So, but my takeaway from the legacy of Dr. King is really that Dr. King, and a lot of young people don't really understand this, Dr. King in that day was a maverick. Yes. Dr. King did not have full support of even people that looked like us. There are many people that disagreed with Dr. King's approach. They thought Dr. King was moving too fast. They thought Dr. King was too radical at that time, and other factions also thought that Dr. King was not radical enough. So he had to really play it in the middle, but also as it relates to his leadership, which is really my big takeaway, as it relates to his leadership, he basically took organizations and groups that in many cases had different ways to get the same thing done, pulled them together, developed a coalition to help move the ball forward. That's what I really, really remember the most from Dr. King's legacy. And that's how we've tried to adopt our legacy in terms of being a bridge builder and basically moving groups that sometimes have different ways of doing things, moving them in the same direction.
Absolutely. And to have that personal relationship, something I can't speak to, we saw it all evolved on a television. So thank you so much for that deep insight. Keyword there with Sydney, it's being about a change, bringing about a change. With you, that pivotal point on leadership. And now to Diva J. And Diva J, I was reading something and I thought, you know what, Diva J introduces herself these days as Jeanette Hort Smith. But she's been Diva J since she became a diva. It was your brand before that, long before Dash Marketing. Yes. And every now and then I'll say Jeanette Diva J Hort Smith when I'm introducing her, but that I go back to Diva J every time.
No, absolutely. So as I reflect on MLK, his legacy, one of the favorite quotes that people say over and over, but that I try to live by is the time is always right to do what is right. And this past weekend, not just for me, but I think for my family, was really a significant weekend. My oldest sister was the Grand Marshal of the MLK Day Parade in Oviedo, Florida, not too far from Orlando. And because she made history as the first African-American general manager of a Ford Motor Company dealership in the United States. And then to top that off, my nephew gave a phenomenal speech. And so I'm going to quote him. He asked the room to raise their hand if you have a dream. And he said, it's good to have a dream, but at some point you have to wake up and you have to stay woke to make your dream come true. And so this MLK Day was just a confirmation and just seeing not only appreciating the legacy of Dr. King, but seeing how his legacy continues to live, but how it doesn't live through words. It lives through actions. It lives through always doing what is right, always pushing the envelope, despite who's with you or who's against you. And I think as a community, we have a lot of work to do. We're still making first African-American records. We have a lot of work to do. And so as we honor him, I think the most honorable thing we can do is to continue the work that he started.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I agree with all of you 100%. I'm going to give a shout out. Oh, wait, I think Ricky found the quote. There you go, Sydney.
Yes, he did.
Go ahead, Sydney, read your quotes.
The quote, instead of using my father to criticize Black Lives Matters, use his word and teaching to enact legislation and establish practices that reflect Black Lives Mattering.
Yep. Absolutely. So you've heard these key components with change. And Sydney, I'll tell you, if you were not at the breakfast, I'm sure there are clips from it. A moment ago, we shared the photo of Nathaniel Freeman. I knew him before he was in his mother's womb. We shared the photo of him at the podium, and I tell you, my chest was just bubbling over with pride and joy. So kudos to Tampa Organization of Black Affairs, the one we know as the acronym TOBA, on their not 20, 30, 40, on their 43rd annual Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Leadership Breakfast. And kudos to the founders. Bob Morrison, Attorney Bob Morrison was there. And I was so pleased to see Attorney Delano Stewart at the end of the gap. He had his swag on, let me tell you. He looked amazing. when you look back at 43 years of service, this organization was beating the pavement. I mean, pounding the pavement. When you look at all of the sponsorship and over 1,200 attendees, it didn't happen overnight. It did not. But the takeaway from the amazing board, the committee members, they have the leadership committee members, and shout out to all of them, to James Ransom, to Gary Hartfield. He's a board chair. They both are. He chairs the leadership component. From the speakers, Dr. Artis, she laid it out for her. She even said that young Nathaniel Freeman was all up in her speech when it came to being wide awoke and what that means and what that takeaway is. But the other component was they have donated over $300,000 in scholarships.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if I was at the radio station, I would put my college. That in itself is phenomenal. And when I think about that, there's so many reasons we need to give, we need to support. Listen, start saving your money all year long. Buy a corporate table, be ready for it. Give them the problem to where they don't have enough room.
And can I?
Absolutely.
I was going to say, can I add another shout out there? Of course, I have to shout out the Toba Leadership Institute cohort members and alum. The co-chairs of the committee that planned the event worked tirelessly. Allison, who works oftentimes behind the scene, did a phenomenal job producing. And I'm honored in that, Dash will be serving as the new program directing entity for the Tobal Leadership Institute, working alongside Carrie Knowles, who's done a phenomenal job paving the way. And so I can say from behind the scenes, this organization is certainly cultivating phenomenal leaders that are going to take our community, specifically our Black communities, to the next level, truly molding the next generation of leaders. And so that's something that I'm proud to say I support and I'm getting behind.
Absolutely. And again, we all should. And Let's Talk Business was well represented. Two of my co-hosts played such pivotal roles with the Toba's ML King 43rd breakfast. A shout out to Dr. Shawnee Davis, who was also there with Gary Hart. Gary Hart has been a long-term supporter. Did I introduce you all, Diva Jerry?
You did, right here on Let's Talk Business with SJC.
Actually, I think it was even, that was the first when we did his book. We invited him on the show.
And then it was the cover.
Yes, on the cover of with the three of you, actually.
Yes.
And that's just a beautiful thing. And this is what's so important. And I'm certain that Rodney would just agree. I wanted to walk us through a couple of the pictures, Ricky, because I'm telling you, look out for this name, Nathaniel Freeman. And Diva J, we shared offline, but as Ricky is bringing the photos up, tell us some things that happened to him as a result of being a presenter at the breakfast on yesterday.
Sure. Well, Nathaniel Freeman, he's 11 years old, very charismatic. After his speech that he gave at the Toba Leadership Breakfast, he was approached one by 4 county judges who were extremely impressed. In fact, told him that he did better than some of the attorneys that present before them. And so they offered for him to come and visit them, as well as for his school to come and visit the courtroom. A representative from the Community Engagement Department for the FBI offered him a space in their teen summer program once he gets to high school that he can engage with. And then there were also folks that represented Jesuit High School as well as Tampa Catholic that were extremely impressed and would love for him to consider being a student once he gets to that level. So he's only 11 now. We know that the best is yet to come. And of course, I have to give credit to his mother, Dr. Elizabeth Ward Freeman, who is the vice provost at the University of South Florida, and my sister, as well as his dad, MacArthur Freeman, who is also a professor in the animation and art department at the University of South Florida. They are why he is. And so I can say that we are very proud of him, not just as his family, I think as his community at large. Absolutely. And so it's by motivating and encouraging young people like Nathaniel that our future looks bright.
Our future is definitely looking bright. And a shout out to Dr. Elizabeth Horde Freeman, who has also been a guest a couple of times on our show, Let's Talk Business. And we are appreciative of that. And that's why we know this platform is so very, very important. And we look forward to God just blessing this young man to do some amazing things, because he received a standing ovation. Just so stinking cute and adorable. So kudos to the Freeman family. And Jeanette, correct me if I'm wrong, he also taught a class during the summer camp at USF, correct?
Yes. He and his father co-taught a course teaching kids how to build animations, specifically focusing on superheroes that were inclusive, meaning superheroes that they could identify with.
Absolutely.
So if you or your child is interested in learning more, you can go to natesters.com and learn more information and subscribe to his YouTube channel as well.
Well, what a perfect segue to go from this young man telling us to be awoke, to stay awoke. And then we come and we have this incredible team that's here with us today that's going to be talking about what their contributions are and what they're doing to the community, particularly with our business owners. And so when we say this is the show, catch the show that will be all up in your business brands, that's Diva J's component right there. She always tells us to be in the room, be present in the room. Yesterday at the ML King breakfast, if you wanted to meet someone and you didn't have the opportunity, that was your day to do it, because they were in that room on yesterday. But they have some information that they're going to be sharing with us, and we'll come back. And I want to ask you guys a question, because I saw this amazing monument, and it's called the Embrace Statue, honoring Dr. King and his wife, Coretta Scott King. And we could talk about some of the comments that's coming through, but the first time I saw this statue, it was breathtaking, just simply breathtaking. It is absolutely beautiful. We'll show it at the end of the show. And then for those who are listening in, Ricky, we also have a gift that we're giving away today. It's a t-shirt with the art that was designed by J.M. Bradley Urban Art. And Diva J, I still have your piece from, I think it was your birthday. So now I'm going to go birthday/Christmas. I have your amazing piece with the, was it 4 sisters or 5 sisters?
Yes. Jeanette's
beautiful. It's in my home. You better hope I don't frame it.
Oh, I got to come get that.
But we'll get together real soon, because we have another project coming up. But I wanted to say that, and we'll get back to the embrace stature at the end. But let's just segue to where we are. New year, new business. Who are these phenomenal individuals that we have on our show today? Diva J, let's start with you and Sydney, and then I'll come back in with the man, the mogul, and the mission with Mr. Rodney Jones. Diva J?
Absolutely. So I am excited to introduce our first guest for this afternoon segment, Miss Sydney Moore. So she is the Vice President, Client Relations, and she's from Tampa, Florida. Okay, so she's also a FAMU alum. Go Rattlers. And not only did she receive her bachelor's from FAMU, but also her MBA. Prior to joining the Business Plans Plus team, Sydney worked as an HR specialist, managing over 200 employees. I oftentimes say that's the hardest job, is managing people. And so Sydney has previously held several sales and marketing positions, serving as the Assistant Director of Marketing for WEDU Public Television Station and Miller Coors Brewery. So she's also worked as a freelance marketing consultant for several small businesses, clients in the Tampa Bay region. So welcome to the show, Sydney.
Thank you, Jeanette. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. That was so beautiful. I love it, especially coming from someone that went to Howard. Just how you seem to admire a Florida A&M graduate. I'm honored. Thank you.
Absolutely. So I know typically we always get up into the women, her wisdom, and the work. So the first thing is, tell us something that we don't know about you. What is something that oftentimes people may be surprised to find out, or that you may rarely share?
Something that most people don't know about me is that I actually studied abroad for 6 months, studied in France. So I speak a little French now. I used to be very fluent at it, but since I've came back, when you don't practice it enough, you kind of lose it somewhat. So I went and studied abroad in France for 6 months, and I went over there not knowing any French, not knowing what to do, and decided I'm going to just go take that chance. I stayed with the host family, and immerse myself in the culture. So that is my, you didn't know, now you know. I'm very adventurous. I've also for the first time I went skydiving, I was actually proposed to after my skydiving flight. So I enjoy
Talk
I
about
enjoy
a leap
adventure.
of faith.
A leap of faith.
Oh, that's
Oh my
amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what would you say your purpose is now that you've kind of done different things throughout your career? What do you find your purpose in life to be?
That's a great question. And I always tell people when they ask me, my purpose is really connecting people to resources, helping them achieve their mission. I really get excited seeing other people win. Like, I get extremely excited just to say, to see where you took it, to help you go where you need to go. So I feel as though that is what my purpose is. That's what I have been living by, is helping others win, because it always, for some reason, it's a full circle. When they win, you win. And I do not believe in that, oh, I have to stop you because you'll get ahead of me. That crab in the bucket mentality that people have, it say, no, if you get him out the bucket, you could get out too. So so that's what my purpose is. That's why I actually joined Business Plans Plus, working with Rodney, because that goes into his mission and what he started Business Plans Plus for. It was just a great connection from the moment that we met. And you did a great job telling my background. So as you can see, I've always been in the helping and connecting industry, and I probably got that from my sales and marketing background. But I've always found myself doing that, helping others, and that is what brings me joy.
And then I think one of my final questions before I throw it over to Cheryl would be, in hearing that you like helping people, you like making those connections, you got into sales and marketing. What was the passion behind that? Oftentimes, and as a co-marketing professional, right, you don't wake up out the bed and say, I want to go into marketing. So how did you even get to that point of understanding what marketing was and that it was something that fulfilled what you're passionate about?
Okay, so my name is Sydney, and most people spell their names with Y's, but I don't, because as a child, I always say this joke: they didn't put a Y in my name because they never wanted me to ask why. Oh. So of course, as you're a child, you get a little rebellious, and you're always asking why. So I've always asked why. I've always wanted to know the why behind things. And because I've always wanted to know the why behind things, it pushed me into the sales and marketing, because it came from negotiating of why I needed to know why, of why it can't be this way or that way. So I've always had that skill of questioning things, trying to see how we can do something better, improve it. And even as a child, at one point, everyone thought I was a family lawyer. I used to participate in teen court because it all stemmed from that question of why, right? So that's how I got into it, mainly more than I went to college, Florida A&M, immersed myself with. And when I first went, I just knew I wanted to do business. And I have to give a special shout out to Mr. Hightower. He is still there at Florida A&M University, marketing department. And we connected in his marketing class, and it went from there. So even at Florida A&M, I worked with the Toyota car company up there, having them sponsor and support one of our initiatives at the Florida A&M School of Business. And it seems so natural for me. Everyone say it's so natural for you. And truthfully, it's a lot of hard work in the back end, even in the beginning. But because it's so natural, and at the end of the day, I always get a rewarding feeling within myself that I know that this is what I'm doing. I'm doing something right in life.
That's
Oh my
amazing.
goodness.
That's amazing.
That is-
Kudos to you for being able to live through your passion.
Thank
Cheryl,
you.
I'll throw it back over to you.
Listen, I must share with Sydney. Just this morning in my morning devotion,
Mhm.
the Lord gave me a message. I'm a guest speaker at a church coming up. I'll be speaking, and I was praying over the title. He'd already given me the scripture, and I thought I was set for it a few months ago when they first asked me. But I was wrestling with it. And this morning, Sydney, you confirmed what God had given me. The message is entitled A Leap of Faith.
Oh, wow.
I was almost speechless when you said that. And so you are doing what you were purposed to do, and to be used as a catalyst to confirm a message that was given to me. And that feeling that we have when we leap towards something, the joy that comes with it, the excitement that comes with it. Thank you for that. And I wanted you to know that, because you definitely are super special, and God is using you in a mighty way. So continue to be that catalyst of that person to want to help bring a brother or sister up.
Yes, yes.
I
And I thank
see.
you. I thank you so much for saying that and confirming that. A lot of people tell me that, actually. And I just look back and say, well, I'm very happy that I was the vessel that came into your life at the time to tell you to go and take that leap of faith. Because I've taken a lot of leap of faith in my life. One of the biggest ones was when I went to France for 6 months. I promise you, I knew nothing, right? And so I'm encouraging you. I'm stamping your message to say, take that leap of faith. Please do it. And if I can ever be here to help you, or you need me for anything, connect with me, because if I feel as though if I was the vessel, that means I'm supposed to be somewhere related to. However I can help, let me know. I'm always here for, and that's for anyone who knows me know that. Once you're connected to me, you're connected.
Once you're connected, I'm so glad we have that connection, Diva J. And Rodney, you have the whole second segment, so whole second half of the segment. But I just have to say this to Sydney, because she is such an encourager to others, and to be young and energetic and doing that. That is the place that's on my bucket list. When I was blessed with a trip to France, a place I've always wanted to go. Have not made it there yet. Maybe I need to take that leap of faith.
Take it.
No. That being said, the reason I didn't go was because my husband was very ill, and I didn't want to go without him. But that being said, that was my language of choice. At la je m'appelle, when I was in the when I was in the 8th grade. When I was in the 8th grade. And so I just wanted to let you know that's a very, very special place, dear to my heart. But we're going to go ahead and take a break, and we'll come back from our commercial break so that we can delve into Mr. Rodney Jones, the man, the mogul, and the mission of Business Plans Plus. Are we ready, DJ CEO? Back in a moment.
We're playing your favorite old school.
are back. Thank you so much. You all heard those announcements coming straight from In Touch News. Thank you to the radio show sponsors that allow us to be able to put our show on each and every week. And again, shout out DJ CEO. We're just about to hit that 4th year anniversary in less than a couple of weeks. All praises and thanks to God Almighty. Welcome back to the show. If you're taking your lunch break with us, we say thank you for tuning in. Please like and share our post. What you heard today, being inspired, as Diva J talked about, this young, super young, 11 years old. He looks like a little young Dr. King himself. And you heard the incredible story, the work that his parents are doing, the great work that Toba is doing, the ML King Parade Foundation, which is also near and dear to my heart. I was blessed to actually chair their inaugural gala and galas after that as well, raising money for scholarships for kids. It's just something I love to do. So Sydney, look out, you'll be next. Now, here we have it. Rodney Jones, President, Business Plans Plus LLC. You heard him say it, native of Washington, D.C. But check this out, guys. After 45 years, he considers Tampa home. Okay, Tampa, welcome home. We appreciate you. We love you. But his hometown is really Washington, D.C. He received his BS in marketing from Howard University. He received his MBA from the University of Tampa. And we can say a shout out and a thank you to Mr. James Hammond for all of those men and women of color who were able to attend the University of Tampa. Thank Mr. Hammond, because he was the one single-handedly bust that door down so that we can gain interest and access to it. Which reminds me, J.M. Bradley's Urban Art is actually going to be unveiling soon Mr. Hammond's portrait. I cannot wait. We're getting one. The show is getting one that we will be gifting to someone in our radio listening audience. So I'm so excited and looking forward to that. And we have a t-shirt, which we will give away at the end of the show. Ricky, you may have to go to J.M. Bradley's website because I forgot to bring the t-shirt in. But it's a beautiful, beautiful t-shirt that I purchased for one of our radio listening audience members when I was at the Jingle Bell Bazaar in December with the 4th hour of my co-host, Al Diva of Al Diva Couture Boutiques. Jeanette Bradley of J.M. Bradley's Urban Art was there with all of her beautiful paintings. And I'm telling you, her tent, you guys were busy. Were you not, Sydney?
We were, yes.
Shout out to you guys. But now back to the man. Volunteerism is so important. We saw a lot of that at the Toba breakfast. Hundreds of volunteers put that event on. Mm-hmm. He's a SCORE, SCORE Tampa, UNICEF, UNCF Tampa. We'll hear more about that at the end of the show. Diva J, Dr. Freeman would appreciate this. University of South Florida Innovators Center. Howard University Marketing Department Advisory Board. So you guys get to go back with your expertise and give back as an alumni. Beautiful. So this man that's worked over 42 years, starting with, including Owens Corning, a Fortune 100 firm. He was also the marketing manager, residential home builder, marketing manager, international export markets, national sales manager, residential insulation. You've just been a man in leadership, Mr. Jones. And that's a beautiful thing.
No, I am absolutely here, but I am. Thank you very, very much for that introduction. And I would be remiss if I did not start by saying a big thank you to you for the decades of service that you provided to this community. You talked about, and you heard me talk about the connectivity and clearly the role that DSI and you and your organization have played in this community servicing this community, connecting business owners with consumers, connecting business owners with other business owners is absolutely fantastic. I've watched you from a distance for decades when I was working in corporate America before I started Business Plans Plus. So thank you. I'm honored to be here and honored to kind of share with the community some information about our company. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you, Diva J as well. Howard alum.
We are honored to have you, sir. And we're also thankful, Diva J. You'll see him and his business in the 30th anniversary edition of DSI Black Pages. Whoop, whoop.
Yes. Yes.
We are the connection to the African American community and those majority businesses who invest in our community. So thank you for investing in DSI Black Pages. We appreciate that. And so we'll see all of you in DSI Black Pages. But now back to the show. The show is all about the who, the what, the when, the where, the how of your business. How do you get to this point? We understand that you spent years being educated in the arena of marketing and decided to then go ahead and use this and working for some phenomenal companies. But you actually have a plan, sir. You have a blueprint. Derek Blue started the blueprint. Now you get to share with us what it is about the blueprint, the business blueprint. So we've heard a little bit about your professional career, but let's get to know a little bit about the man. Tell us a little bit about your family. Tell us something we don't know about you.
I'm glad you asked that. So my foundation is clearly rooted in my family, in my parents and my grandparents, as well as my mother and dad. My grandfather was a business owner. He was a musician, but he was also a business owner, selling and marketing pianos and other things. Believe it or not, in the 1920s and 1930s, during the Great Depression in Washington, D.C. His son, my father, was and this is something that I think a lot of people don't know, my father was an aviator. His passion was flying. He was one of the famous Tuskegee Airmen, and he flew with the 99th. He trained at Tuskegee at Moulton Field. And later on in life, he also owned a flight training school in the Washington, D.C. area by the name of Cloud Club 2. After that, and again, this is after he retired from the government, after that, he also started one of the first African American owned flight charter companies called International Air Association, and they operated out of Washington, D.C. from 1972 to 1979. My mother, and Diva J, you'd appreciate this, my mother worked at the old Freedmen's Hospital, which is now Howard University Hospital. She worked for one of the nation's leading cardiologists, Dr. Charles Curry. And my mother was a taskmaster where attention to detail was extremely, extremely important. So all of my foundation and all of my non-academic training came from my parents as it relates to the importance of relationships, as it relates to the importance of attention to detail, as it relates to the importance of follow-up.
Oh, beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful. I mean, we could ask you, where did you get all of your wisdom and your passion? And let me tell you, having worked with him, he pays attention to detail. He inherited that gift from his mother. So I find it striking that he is
absolutely.
He's so super organized, and that's just not a trait that you see often. So that's helping us to understand the man, and now we can understand even further your passion for being consistent and committed to many, many years, over 4 decades of working for other major businesses, and then come to the place in your life, and you'll have to tell us, how do you make that transition to start your own business? Where did the business get its name from, and when did you start your business?
All right. So in my resume, the one thing that was really interesting is that I'm handling exports for my company. What we're attempting to do was to grow This was when I was working for a Fortune 500 company.
Okay.
We were attempting to grow markets in other parts of the world. And that took me on a journey to countries in the Asia Pacific region, specifically Japan, Malaysia, the Philippines, in Europe, Czech Republic, Belgium, England, Latin America, Colombia, and Brazil, and Africa, and Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire. It was really interesting that a lot of these businesses that we worked with, some of them were fledgling startup businesses, and others were more established businesses. My passion for what I do today was really born out of that experience, because there were a number of businesses that were fledgling in other parts of the world and really needed help with basic things, such as how do you create awareness for who they are, what they do, and where their clients are. How do you help them organize their productivity? Things like how can you help them as relates to their logistics challenges? Imagine an organization that's in the heart of Central Africa having to ship product and get product from the middle of Central Africa to the coast. So a lot of those challenges, although unique to those particular companies, those are issues that are really global. Those are issues that all businesses face, whether it's a business in East Tampa or whether it's a business in Brussels. The same types of concepts always apply. So I was able to take that once I decided to start businesses for my own, because I made a lot of other people that didn't necessarily look like me rich. Ponder that for a second. A lot of people that didn't look like me rich. And then when we started to take a look at the wealth gap in this country, for me, it was a natural transition for me to transition helping make other people rich to helping people in communities in which I live serve, help them prosper, those who do my work, helping narrow the wealth gap. And that was really the impetus for the starting of Business Plans Plus, which is really a consulting company that really attempts to help individuals flourish, both startups as well as existing businesses. And we've been at it now for 7 years, and bringing Sydney Moore on board, this absolute phenomenal talent. We'll continue to see our business grow and prosper because Sydney is absolutely the best.
That is phenomenal. And I would agree with you. We're going to use this segment of the show to our radio listening audience. You can hear from these two experts and delve a little more deeper about Business Plans Plus, the plans that they have to offer you. Keyword, affordable. Affordable. Diva J and I got to do our show last year from The Well. And I'm sure Dr. Sally Stone and Maurice Stone would love for you to know that the company that supported them in creating a business plan to secure the Well's proposal was, drum roll please, Mr. Rodney Jones and Business Plans Plus.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
You two take it away. Tell us what it is that you have that our businesses, our business owners in the community, and it doesn't matter if they're a fledgling startup or if they're an existing business, because when you start talking about the business plan, the contingency plan just coming out of the pandemic was eye-opening. Where can we learn more about you? What events you have planned and scheduled to come up? Both of you, take it away.
All right, so I'll see, like, it's easy for me when I put my foot in my mouth, as I frequently do. So, but I just want to say this: in today's post-COVID environment,
and to our radio listening audience, I can hear that
African American owned numerically.
There is a delay, Rodney, coming from you, so I'm not certain if that's You hear it? So we do apologize for it. We really want you to hear what he has to say. Let's see if we can try it again. Rodney?
Yes, can you hear me now? Is that better?
Yes, yes.
So I just quickly want to say that during this post-COVID environment, we lost a number of African-American owned businesses because all of the factors associated with COVID in terms of lack of business, lack of revenue, et cetera. Unfortunately, in Florida, we lost about 40% of the African-American owned businesses throughout those 3 years of COVID. That's the bad news. The good news is that if you take a look at all of the economic indicators, that if you take a look at along the I-4 corridor in terms of growth driven by population shifts, growth driven by post-COVID demand, this is absolutely the perfect timing and opportunities for our businesses to thrive, whether it's a startup organization or whether or not it's an existing organization. The demand in Florida for all goods and services is going through the roof. And I challenge your listeners to really take advantage of this time. Let's get out of the post-COVID doldrums and really get together and start putting together active plans and strategies to take advantage of this growth, of this post-COVID growth spurt. Now, what I'd like to do now is turn it over to the brains of the organization, Sydney, to kind of talk a little bit about what we do and why we do it. But Sydney, before you come on, I just have to make one other comment, then I'll shut up. And this is that this is really important, given if you take a look at the members of this panel, 65% of all the new Black-owned businesses in Florida, guess what?
Are women.
That's right.
Women.
Absolutely. They're owned by women. So this is your time, ladies, and I'm talking to the ladies in Florida as well. This is your time to step out there on faith, step out there and be assertive, and step out there and capture the opportunity that currently exists in the fastest growing state in the country, which is Florida. Sydney, I'll turn it over to you.
Well, thank you, Rodney. You definitely said a lot. And yes, he is absolutely right. The possibilities that's coming here to Florida that's happening right now, actually, along the I-4 corridor is endless for new business owners, even business owners that did not make it through the COVID-19. Now is the time for you to pick back up, restart, rebrand. We are here for you because your idea is needed. If that idea is in you, let us help you get it out of you and into the hands of consumers, into your target market. That's what we do. That's what we specialize in. Like you said, affordable. Oh, it's not up there. Affordable business plans, because we do this for the community. We do this for you all, and providing you with business plans, and most importantly, so that you do not go out of business again. What we do, what we specialize in really is helping you understand your numbers, making sure that you can overcome any type of obstacle that come in your way. So that's our specialty with business plans that make us very different, is we're not just going to give you the plan and tell you, okay, that's it. We're here to actually hold your hand and walk you through it for different strategies that's specifically tailored to you, your idea, your industry, and your business. So from business plans to marketing to funding, the 3 steps that you need, the top 3 things that you need to be a successful business, we provide you the resources for that.
Awesome. That's phenomenal. Ricky, if they have another slide, Ricky, if you could bring the business plan plus add up so when people hear how affordable it is. And Cindy, can you speak to that? Because we're looking at the starting price, and is that I know it's accurate because we're publishing it. You'll see it first in DSI blog pages. Tell them what that means when you look at those two price factors here.
When you look at those 2 price tags, we always tell people the reason why we say affordable is because our business plans are $5.99. It's easier for us to tell you, and we work with you, so we normally say it's just 2 payments of $299.50, right? And we like to keep it that way because we feel as though your money should be used to invest more into your business, into the actual products and services that you're
Love
offering.
that. Love
So I know when you Google and you research and you're looking for people to provide business plans, they're saying, "Oh, I need to charge you $1,000 or $1,200." We're $599. We do not plan on increasing our prices because we believe in the business and the structure of that, and the money that you need should go towards your business. And we work with you as well at the same time. So those are our prices. We keep things affordable to make sure that the ultimate goal is you are a successful business owner. That's our whole mission statement with Business Plans Plus.
I'm going to ask a question and then I'm going to swing it over to Diva J, a female business owner in the 60th percentile. I don't know what the percent was when I started out, but that's a great number. Anything over 50% is a great number. But that being said, Sydney, I did want you to tell us, for a person that's looking at this or may pick up on our playback later, what are they getting in that first startup plan? What are some of the services that Business Plans Plus is offering?
So in that $599 year business plan, we offer 5-year financials. So we sit down with you to give you a 5-year forecast and a roadmap. So not 3, we do 5, a 5-year forecast. So you can really understand your numbers. And then with that plan, we also sit down and offer you a mock interview to teach you to make sure you understand your numbers when you go talk to banks, lenders, or investors. We offer that to you to get you prepared so that you're able to walk away with the business plan in hand, making sure you understand it from your executive summary, your marketing strategy, your funding, your sales plan, all of those things that you need to really create a roadmap to where you can go in, talk about your business to funders, investors, and bank lenders, and get funding to start what you're passionate about. So
That
all of
is
that is
phenomenal.
included.
Just the 5 years. The 5 years, phenomenal. Diva J normally gives us our business nuggets, but Diva J, you have the mic.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think this is absolutely amazing. And in fact, while you all were talking, I've already texted someone the name of your company. What I'm finding, and especially probably amongst Black women, many of them are transitioning out of corporate America. Yes. After COVID, used to working from home, have found some side gigs, generated some income, have enough disposable income and reserves to where they are looking to pursue their business endeavors. And so I have 2 referrals that I will be sending your way, because oftentimes I find people come from marketing and I say, no. I need to know the whole plan.
Right.
And so you guys come first. And so I am just, this is amazing. I do have a question. I see grant proposals on there.
Yes.
That's a big one. Can we
one.
talk a little bit about grants, and is it only grants for nonprofit, or are there some for-profit grant opportunities that folks can explore with you all?
So I'm so happy you mentioned that, and I'm going to say this on the record. There are for-profit grant opportunities. There are grants out there for companies that are for-profit, especially now since the COVID-19 opportunity, not opportunity, so sorry, it's not an opportunity, but ever since the COVID-19 pandemic hit, there has been a lot of grant opportunities to support small businesses as well that are for profit. So we do sit down with them, and that's something we offer in our funding package as well. And again, like I said, we do this all tailored to your industry, because there's thousands of grants, but I'm not going to give someone in the trucking industry a grant for catering or for commercial cleaning. So yes, we do offer that assistance. We have a list of clients to where we normally every 2 weeks send them out a new list of grants that's related to their industry with us. This is how invested Business Plan is with helping you succeed.
That is amazing. And then also, would you say the business plan are those services mainly for startups, or is that something, one thing I've learned being in business for 12 years is the business plan changes.
It does.
And so can you talk a little talk a little bit about what you can do for existing businesses and their plans?
Great question. With business plans, truthfully, you need to update your business plan every 2 years. right? To make sure that you stay ahead of the curve, to make sure you understand your numbers and making any shifts that need to be made from your previous vision, right? To incorporate things of the unknown in the future. So we offer doing that as well. So with our business plans, we offer 2 free updates. So that means when you come back in the 2nd year, we update that for you. And then again, in the 4th year, we update that for you. And of course, when it goes to the 6th year, we don't charge you the full $5.99, but we do have a price for you there too at that time, because you do need to update your business plan every 2 years. So not just small businesses or new businesses, also businesses that's looking to grow, scaling, growing business. Even Fortune 500 companies, you need to always update your business plan every 2 years. So yes, business plans are not just for new businesses, or it's also for existing businesses. And it's the same thing with funding as well.
You know, to add to that, we have a kind of a model that we go by. The business plan is indeed a living, breathing document, because it absolutely, Lady J, to your point, it absolutely changes because the economic environment changes, the factors that drive demand and growth changes, the competitive environment changes. It absolutely is indeed a living, breathing document. We sometimes take our clients to the woodshed at times when they don't go back, you know, after every couple of years, or even every year, I do usually, to kind of review their business plan, because things change. The assumptions that they made in year 1 can be totally different in year 2 and in year 3. It's a living, breathing document.
Well, David J, I agree with him. That SWOT analysis that we do changes every year.
Right.
Every year.
Every year. David J, your nuggets. And I know we're going to be wrapping up. We're going to hear from our DJ CEO. There's a couple of more minutes, but we do want to make sure 2 things are going to happen. Actually, 3 things. Let me do, David J, if I could just do this right quick. If you are listening to the show, and we used to give this number out, David J, do you remember the number? The first person that rings In Touch News telephone. If you're listening on Facebook, or you're listening offline, or you're listening live on In Touch News, that number is 813-444-9588. 813-444-9588. Somebody ring the line and you will win the J.M. Bradley custom designed art on a t-shirt. Again, 813-444-9588. He has to hear that phone ring before we sign off the air. DVJ will come back and give her nuggets, and then we're going to have Rodney come back and share with us about UNICEF.
Absolutely. Well, I know we're getting to the close of the program, so I'll keep it as brief as possible. As far as nuggets go, it's a new year, and I think these are the perfect guests to have at the top of your year. It's time to assess where you've been, where you're trying to go, and how you're going to get there. And as I said before, it doesn't start at your marketing. It starts at your plan at large, and then your marketing supports that plan along the way. So as we get to the close of month 1 and Q1, you can start doing some assessments there. Also, I want to say technology is your friend. Many of you, I'm sure on social media, are seeing all of these little pings about artificial intelligence. If you are not hip to it, I suggest you do your research. It is an absolute game changer. And if you're in the industry of content development, look at getting some more talents, because what I can tell you is that AI is coming, and it's coming for jobs. And so you want to make sure that you have a diverse portfolio. I also want to put in a shameless plug here. I will be hosting a networking event on February 15th on the rooftop of Sally Mar in Midtown. It's called Creatives Connect, and this is something I plan to do throughout the year, specific for certain industries. And so if you're a creative, a graphic designer, web developer, if you're in marketing, PR, media, broadcast, I would love for you to come out, and this is how we're going to grow our network. It doesn't matter what level professional you are and or student. I'd love to come out, meet our team, and see what we do, and let's just start to really cultivate collaboration, because I think going into 2023, if you've been asleep this pandemic, this might not be your year, but if you've been grinding during the pandemic, 2023 is going to be a game changer. And then lastly, I'll leave with you all that Dash is excited to be opening an office in partnership with Brooks Realty Group off of Falkenberg. So reach out to me on social media. February 1st, 4:30 to 7:30 will be our grand opening. And business plans, you might be getting a call from me soon. So thank you all so much. And Cheryl, I'll throw it right back to you.
Listen, this has just been a phenomenal show. Please like and share so that others can see this video, because this is what's about to happen. Business Plans Plus, LLC, and Let's Talk Business will be giving away, you heard it, 5 years, but we'll be giving away a business plan to a blessed business owner. We're going to kick it off in hopefully our first Wednesday of the month, because that was always our blueprint month. And we're going to give you the blueprint. So they're going to come back and delve a little more into about what they can do to help your business. Share the post, share the video, put the information out there. Rodney and I believe in partnering together. We're collaborating with East-West I-4 corridor collaborations. But you heard it right here. That business plan that will help you for 5 years, we're giving one away. Stay tuned for more to come on the February 1st show of Let's Talk Business with SJC. And we'll hear more from Rodney Jones and Sydney Moore. I was trying to check in with DJ CEO, but I know our time is up. If the phone rang, we'll get with him and certainly let you know who will walk away with this amazing t-shirt. And if not, I'll roll it over to the first and it'll be a t-shirt and a business plan. You can't get any better than that. But thank you to our special guest, Mr. Rodney Jones, Mrs. Sydney Moore. You all have given some very important information and showing us that you're going to take advantage of it. In the words of young Nathaniel Freeman, y'all need to wake up
and stay woke.
Stay woke. Reminds me of, and to you, Sydney, I didn't make it to Paris. If it's the Lord's will, I will. But long before, as a teenager, wanting to go to that place of love, I married a Frenchman. So shout out to my husband. That's where I get the French name, Sherryl Cusseaux. It doesn't get any better than that. This show, everybody, is a wrap. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Oh my gosh. No. DJ CEO, our